want to hurry God, or the old people used to say, you can't hurry God.
That's right.
Because listen, this is timing. The Bible said there is a time and a season for everything. But like Pastor said last week, Pastor Jensen Franklin said, but the only thing that scripture didn't say was the time to quit. It's a time to fight, it's a time to go on. Now it's a time to seize for everything, but it ain't a time to quit. Because if you quit, that's it. It's not a time to quit. It's a time to go it on. To keep going forward. So we're going to press, and when you press, the chains come, and then when you come to the chains, you get to the finish line. It says this, willing to let all these things stay on this course in order for the change to take place to get to the finish line. Listen now, did you hear what I just said? It said there must be a pressing and willingness to let all of these things stay on this course in order for the change to take place to get to the finish line. Let's use Jacob again as an example. Remember how he deceived his brother out of his blessing. And listen, and when you look at it, it's negative because he lied and connived. But one thing his brother did, it wasn't only on him, his brother gave up his right.
Yeah. Okay,
he didn't have to.
He did. Right.
He didn't have to. He was hungry, so in other ways, I don't care nothing about that. I'm hungry right now. I'm going to give it up. It don't mean nothing to me. And the things there are things in our life that's got to be significant, that's got to mean something in our life. Our relationship with one another, our relationship with God, our relationship with our wife, our relationship with our husband, our relationship with our children. We just can't let them go. We just can't take these things for granted. And if you have to get back in order. So this, God is there. Now it looked like it was all messed up when Jacob, but the seed he sowed, his mother said, they getting ready to take my son out, so we got to send him to his uncle's house. God, listen, still in God's plan. Still in God's plan. Because see, the seed had to come through Jacob. Jacob couldn't die. David couldn't die. Samson couldn't die until he was finished. I'm telling you, he couldn't die. Moses couldn't die until finish. That relationship that he had with Moses was one-on-one. It was one-on-one. You see what I mean? So Jacob went and lived with his uncle over 20-some years. And when he left empty. But he came back full. And listen, even in this process, he told God, he said, listen, God, if you'll do A, B, C, and D for me, he said, I promise I'll give you all my tithe. I'll give you 1/10 of my income. And God did it. And then through all the deception in the line, right at the end, God spoke to him and said, now, Jacob, it's time to go back. It's time to go back. Now, Jacob probably couldn't understand it, and fear came up on dog. I done tricked Esau and did this and did. I know I got to go deal with that joker. I got to go deal with him. And not only that, his father-in-law didn't want to let him go. Because he was blessed. He said, since you've been here, I've just been abundantly blessed. So he didn't want to let him go. So think about that now. Think about Jacob, the supplanter. He left one way with a trickster name, but he came back with the right name after he wrestled with God. And a lot of times in our lives, we wrestle with God. It's a good thing. And we wrestle with God, and God has a plan for us, for each and every one of our lives. He has a plan for us, and it's to do good. That's what Jeremiah 29:11 says. I know the thoughts or the plans that I have for you, and it's to do you good, to bring you to an end with some hope, with an expectation. So I always say, he brings us to hope with some expectation. Listen at this here now. The word agony means to continue. And listen at this. I was reading and studying this. They got a synonym out of it called athlesis, which where we get our word athlete or athletic. So it means to combat the contest of athletes or a struggle or fight. This is what it means. War, painfulness, travail. So in the press, the change in the finish is going to be a war. It's a fight, church. But to be a good church, Eve overcome. Many affliction are the righteous, but God going to deliver us from them all. Amen. The key is we have to be set offensively and defensively. Mostly on the offense, we got to be able to attack, and we attack with the word of the living God. When we obey God, we're attacking the enemy, and the enemy don't like that. He loves lawlessness.